competence, including phonological knowledge, to see if you can judge whether these sentences are grammatical or not. Use whatever syntactic, morphological, phonological, and phonetic knowledge. So if you like to write these sentences down, yeah, okay. I'll say each sentence word by word, okay. The, that is. The old man, the boat. The old man, the boat.
Doctor,
Sorry?
it's like one sentence. The old man, the boat.
We have 4 sentences. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 sentences. So let's just write these first. Write them first. Then see if they sound grammatical or not. And if so, if they do sound grammatical, use your phonological knowledge, including stress placement, to figure out what they mean. Okay? Because of course, when we speak of branches of linguistics, when we speak of the 4 skills, the 4 language skills, I mean, they are never compartmentalized. I mean, in other words, they are closely related, and they reflect on our language competence. The girl told the story, cried. The girl told the story, cried. This is a problem-solving exercise. After the student moved, the chair broke. Four, fat people eat, accumulates. Fat people eat, accumulates. Accumulates is ACCUMULATES. How do these sentences sound to start with? Do they sound okay? Are they syntactically acceptable?
No.
No, doctor.
None of them?
Not all of them.
Yeah.
Only one.
Only one. Is that Noor?
Yes, doctor.
Noor, which one is acceptable?
The third one.
The third one.
After the students moved, the chair broke.
So that's acceptable.
Yes.
How about number one?
The old man, the boat? No.
That's unacceptable, yeah.
Yes.
And number two?
It's not.
Also.
Do you all agree that one and two are unacceptable?
Yes.
This is just an exercise, you know. It's a tricky exercise. It was sent by one of your colleagues. I don't know, perhaps he thought that these are ungrammatical sentences.
Are they?
Well, I mean, when I first looked at them, I realized that they were all acceptable. Yeah, they are all acceptable, yeah.
I mean, the first one here, how could it be acceptable?
Yeah,
If we consider...
this is why I wanted to share this with you, because we need to have we need to change gears, yeah, and adopt the critical thinking approach and the problem solving approach. See what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
So the first sentence may be acceptable if we consider it like the old here is a noun.
Yes,
and man,
very good.
The word man as the verb or something to
okay,
do.
very good, yes.
And the boat is the object.
Yeah, now you got it, yeah. You got it right.
Yes.
Yeah, you got it right. I mean, in modern English, I mean, where would stress fall in a sentence like one? Where would the primary stress fall? This is why we say that the stress is phonemic, and it can distinguish one grammatical pattern from another. So you got it right, Noordin. Now, man here is a verb. Modern English uses a sizable number of zero derivation words. Zero derivation. Now, to derive a word, we need either to add affixes to the base. So rich goes to enrich. Enrich goes to enrichment to make a noun. We may need to shift the stress. Conflict is a noun. Conflict is a verb. And sometimes we need to make sure of the stress placement. So words like don't ape me. Don't ape me. Now, ape is a noun, but here in this context, it's a verb. Don't ape me means don't imitate me. Yeah. He's a pilot. He's a pilot. Pilot is a noun, but he pilots a plane is a verb. He pilots a plane. He flies a plane. Honeymoon, weekend, holiday are all nouns, but they can be used as verbs. So we can say, where did you honeymoon? Instead of saying, this is commonly used in modern English, of course. Instead of saying, where did you spend your honeymoon? They simply say, Where did you honeymoon? Where honeymoon here is used as a verb. Where did you holiday? Where did you weekend? Where did you spend your weekend? So English nowadays uses zero derivation. That is, using the same word to have dual membership, one as a noun, the other as a verb, without losing the identity of or membership in either class. See what I mean? It's zero derivation, using the same word, the same noun, as a verb, without any change, without adding affixes, without changing the stress, simply by the position. We can tell that it's a verb by the position the word occupies. I mean, there are hundreds of such words. Even the word up and down. Life, they say, life has its ups and downs. Ups and downs accept an S, therefore they are nouns. So they are used as nouns and as prepositions. On and off. On and off. So don't be surprised. I mean, as translators or interpreters, you might be exposed, to such usages. Okay, so instead of saying switch the light on or switch it off, they simply say, can you off the light, on the light? Can you on the light? Can you off the light? In which case, off and on are used not as prepositions, but also as verbs. So here we have the old man, the boat. Now here we have the old man, the boat, drive the boat. And sometimes when they have spacecrafts, they say they are unmanned spacecrafts. Unmanned, man here. Here it's an adjective. Man, manned, unmanned. Okay, that's another case of zero derivation. Zero derivation. Manned spacecrafts and unmanned spacecrafts, which means مأهولة and غير مأهولة. You see what I mean?
Yes.
And سفن فضاء مأهولة, manned, مأهولة, and unmanned غير مأهولة. This is how we need to use our linguistic knowledge in translation, by the way, or interpretation. They say translation is higher linguistics. It's higher linguistics. It's the culmination of all linguistic knowledge and skills. So here, the old, that's the subject. Man, a verb. The boat. Here we have stress on the boat, not on man. So it's the old man, the boat. The old man, the boat. Drive the boat. Okay. The second, the girl told the story, cried. It sounds odd, yes? But it's very commonly used, by the way. I mean, this pattern, this structure is very much used both in spoken English and written. In spoken and written language.
Doctor, do you mean she
And
told
this,
the stories and
I mean,
cried?
this structure is preferable to the other one. Yes, Ahmed?
Doctor, you mean she told the story, then she cried?
No, that would be the girl told the story and cried. If you want to look at it that way, the girl told the story, cried.
Here we could say that.
They are tricky, by the way. I mean, they are tricky, but these are examples of ambiguity. In semantics, we use such examples. Yes, Noor.
If we sometimes when we say, for example, the girl that told the story, we don't say that. We just negate that the word that and continue, like the word told the story, then without cried. It's like when you
now,
say
who's the doer? Who's the doer of the verb told? Who's the doer? The agent. The subject, that is. Who is the subject?
Girl. The girl.
The girl is the subject? Well, I think in this context, the girl is an object. It's an object. I wonder if you have you done grammar 1 and 2?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Have you done the difference between clauses and sentences?
Yes.
Yes?
Yep.
Have you done how to reduce a clause to a phrase? Reduction of clauses to phrases? This is an example of reduction. If you've done this book, we have adjective clauses, I think it's chapter 7. Is it? No, chapter 6. Chapter 6, adjective clauses. Part of this chapter is how to reduce a clause to a phrase. Chapter 6, page 238. So check that if you have you got copies of this? Have you all have got copies?
Most of us do.
Good. Just check adjective clauses, chapter 6. Just to give you an example, the policeman who is standing over there is helpful. The policeman who is standing over there is helpful. Now, who is standing over there is a clause, isn't it? Who is standing over there? That's a clause which modifies, it's an adjective clause, which modifies the policeman. Yeah. Now, instead of saying the policeman who is standing over there is helpful, we reduce this clause to a phrase by saying the policeman standing over there is helpful. So we drop the relative pronoun, and drop verb to be. You end up having the policeman standing instead of who is standing. Now, this is used both in written and spoken forms. Yeah. Okay. The story which I read last week is moving.
The story I read last week.
Yeah, we say the story I read last week is moving. You know what moving here means?
Emotionally moving.
Yeah, emotional, yeah. Yeah, it means مؤثرة, yes? Right. Okay. The story which was read, the story which was read last week is moving. Now here we can reduce, this is passive voice, the story which was read. التي قرأت يعني. التي قرأت. Okay, so we get the story read last week is moving. You see what I mean? So we reduce a clause in the active by dropping the relative pronoun plus the auxiliary, and in the passive, but there we use the present participle form of the verb. Here we use the past participle form if it's passive. So the story, now here we have the girl told the story is a reduction of the girl who was told the story. So who was told the story as a clause becomes the girl told the story. Yeah, got it? It means who was told the story cried. The girl told the story. That's to say, the girl who was told the story cried. Yeah. So how do you translate who is standing over there?
من يقف هناك.
الذي يقف هناك. Yes?
الشخص الذي يقف هناك.
Okay. Now, how do you translate the policeman standing over there?
الشرطي
رجال
يقف
الشرطة يقفون هناك.
هناك.
No, the policeman standing over there is helpful.
رجل الشرطي الواقف.
That's it. It means الشرطي الواقف. So instead of saying الذي يقف, which is a clause, we can use the phrase الواقف. And the story which I read. So how do you translate this?
القصة التي قرأتها.
Okay.
التي قرأت.
No, which was read. التي قرأت. Yeah. The story read.
قرأت القصة.
القصة المقروءة.
المقروءة. That's it.
المقروءة.
القصة المقروءة. Yeah. So if it's active, we use the present participle form. اسم الفاعل. If it's passive, use the past participle form. اسم المفعول. Of course, I mean brevity is the soul of text, as they say. So try to be brief. I mean, if you can do without some words, it's easier. I mean, it saves time and energy. So the girl told the story. The girl who was told the story cried. Can you translate this?
Again, Doctor.
The girl who was told the story cried.
الفتاة التي سردت عليها القصة بكت.
الفتاة التي فاطمة. Okay.
سردت عليها القصة بكت.
بكت. Okay.
دكتور
Right.
بكت.
Make it the girl told the story.
الفتاة روت القصة.
No, not روت.
أردت.
هي القصة رويت لها. And I mean, the girl here is not a doer. It's not a subject.
قرأت على الفتاة القصة دكتور.
Again.
قرأت القصة على الفتاة.
هو in standard Arabic we say الفتاة التي قصت عليها القصة. يقص.
Yes, دكتور.
To
Yes.
tell a story we say يقص. Yeah.
Yes, دكتور.
Yeah. How about the phrase? The girl told the story.
الفتاة المقصوصة
المقصوص عليها.
المقصوص عليها.
Yeah, that's it. Right. After the student moved, the chair broke.
كسر الكرسي.
Again.
كسر الكرسي بعد ما حركه الولد.
Okay. Is it? After the student moved, the chair broke.
بعد أن حرك الطالب الكرسي لا
It's ambiguous, دكتور.
منى go on.
بعد أن حرك الطالب كسر الكرسي.
Is it بعد أن حرك؟
بعد أن تحرك الطالب كسر الكرسي.
Yeah, that's it. In English, we use one form of some verbs have one form, while in Arabic we have two forms. Now in English we say the student moved, which means
تحرك الطالب.
تحرك. Okay, and the student moved the chair.
حرك الطالب الكرسي.
ملاحظين؟
Yes.
So move in Arabic has two forms, تحرك and حرك. So it could be intransitive and transitive. Yeah. So in the student moved the chair is transitive, حرك. But in the students moved, تحرك, it's intransitive. This happens in verbs like break. For instance, we say the boy broke the glass. The boy broke the glass, which means كسر. Yes, كسر الولد الزجاج. Yeah,
Yes.
كسر. But the glass broke. Yeah, that's perfectly right. The glass broke. My car broke.
تعطلت سيارتي.
Yeah, here it means تعطلت. Or the glass broke.
تحطم الزجاج.
Again.
تحطم الزجاج.
انكسر يعني الزجاج.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it. These are ergative verbs. We call them ergative verbs. Yeah. We have a list of such verbs. So after the student moved, the chair broke. How does this read?
It sounds fully grammatical, actually.
Again, doctor.
It sounds grammatical, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. So how would you paraphrase it? Or simply translate it? Either you paraphrase it or translate it.
Can you say it
بعد أن
again?
تحرك الطالب كسر الكرسي.
Yeah, that's very good, Muna. Say it again.
بعد أن تحرك الطالب
Yes.
كسر الكرسي.
Yeah, that's it. So after the student moved, the chair broke. And the chair broke after the student moved. بعد أن تحرك الطالب. So it's perfectly all right. 4 is more tricky, I think. Fat people eat accumulates.
May I, دكتور؟
Yes, sure.
دكتور، يأكل الناس الدهون المتراكمة أو الدهون التي تسبب التراكمات مثلا؟
You almost got it. You're close.
They accumulate the fat they eat.
No, here we have accumulates.
Oh.
So we have fat, people, eat, accumulates. It sounds odd.
الأشخاص
It
الثمينين.
sounds odd, yeah? It
Yes,
sounds
Doctor.
odd.
Yes.
accumulates mean كميات.
Let's have Ahmed. Let's have Ahmed.
Yes. الأشخاص الثمينون دكتور يأكلون الدهون المتراكمة أو
Now this is to do with the grammatical stress patterns we did. Now we said that compounds have stress on the first element. Adjective noun, modifier noun. The modifier noun pattern has stress on the second element, on the noun. When we have subject, verb, object, stress falls on the object. And when we have verb, adverbial, stress falls on the adverbial. So this applies here. It's one of these patterns. One extra mark.
May you repeat it, Doctor?
Fat. It was Osama who sent this.
Yes. This is why
it's good. I mean, to have tricky things, and people think that these sentences are verbless. By the way, even native speakers sometimes may fail to, resolve the ambiguity. Fat, people, eat, accumulates. One extra mark. Yeah, it took me 2 minutes, to resolve the ambiguity.
Doctor, I know the answer because I send you the question.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
خليك ساكت الآن.
Yeah. Okay.
تتراكم الدهون. Is that right?
Okay. Carry on.
تتراكم الدهون للسمناء الذين يأكلون.
Doctor, may I?
Now, what part of speech is fat here? This is how we need to combine theory and practice. Now,
Subject.
I mean, no, fat.
Adjective.
Fat. I mean, what part of speech is it in this context?
Adjective.
Subject, Doctor.
Is it?
Fat
Yes.
people. Adjective.
No, in which case it should be accumulate.
May I try, Doctor?
Without an S. I mean, what is the part of speech of the word fat here?
Subject, Doctor.
Is it?
Yes, Doctor.
Yes,
May I try, Doctor?
Yeah, okay.
دكتور تتراكم الدهون في أجساد الذين يأكلونها دكتور.
Yeah, that's very good. Yes. So in which case, fat is a noun. So fat here does not modify people. In other words, people who eat fat.
Oh, yes.
Yeah?
Yes, Doctor.
The fat accumulates. You see what I mean? Fat,
Yes.
that's to say the fat. Object, it's an object here. Fat people eat. Fat, the fat, which people eat, accumulates.
تتراكم الدهون التي يأكلها الناس.
Yeah, you got the translation right, yes.
Yes, دكتور.
يعني الدهون التي يأكلها الناس تتراكم.
في أجسادهم.
تراكم في أجسادهم.
تتراكم. Yeah, تتراكم.
دكتور, may I paraphrase it in English?
Yeah, sure.
يعني بقدر بحكي دكتور the fat that people eat accumulate in their adipose tissue or in their bodies.
Well, that's exactly what it means. The fat people eat, the fat that
Yes.
or which people eat accumulates.
Yes, doctor.
Yeah.
So I
here
get the
we-
extra mark.
This is part of, yeah, sure. I mean, it's tricky. There's a chapter, those who are doing contrastive linguistics, there's a chapter on agreement, subject-verb agreement, subject complement agreement, object complement agreement. So we need to use whatever linguistic knowledge we have to make better translators. Yeah. So each one of these sentences then has a verb. In the first, we have by the way, I sent you an assignment. So make sure that you check the Moodle, yeah? Check the Moodle, you'll find an assignment. And I think you have 1 week to do it. 1 week to submit.
Inshallah, Doctor, we will.
Has anybody checked the assignment?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
good.
we will.
Right. We need to have interaction, just to make sure that everybody is okay. Right. Back to phonotactics. That's the distribution of phonemes in a language, because all languages are rule governed, not just languages, all languages and dialects. Yeah, languages and dialects are rule governed. They are governed by rules. They use finite means to express the infinite, and they impose restrictions on the way phonemes are distributed. What do I mean by that? By phoneme distribution? That means what consonants occur together, how many consonants, what positions each element may occupy. So one of the phonotactic rules of English phonology is that, according to all linguists, I mean, Peter Roach, Sturgberg, Chomsky, plus others. Peter Roach, Sturgberg, right here. Sturgberg, I mean, they all hold the view that all English consonants may begin a word except for two, which are ing and what's the other? Yeah, it's maintained by it seems that there is unanimous agreement, by the way, that all consonant sounds may begin a word except two. These two are the voiced vela nasal sound and the voiced palato-alveolar fricative sound. I think I did ask you, to think about this last time. I'm not aware of any English word that begins with ing. Yeah, that's right. I have about 15 or 20 words which are counterexamples of the ja sound, because many English words begin with ja. If you check Peter Roach, I can't remember the page now. He says, ja can never begin an English word. Can you think of any English words beginning with ja?
Genre, maybe.
Who's that?
Me, Nuruddin.
Nuruddin. We have ja sound.
Yes.
Genre. It begins with a ja sound.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have about 15 to 20 words which are not in line with this rule. They violate, they refute the assumption that ja cannot begin an English word. This is why we need to think along these, lines. We shouldn't take anything for granted. We have to check, verify, reflect. Actually, I wrote a paper on this. I couldn't believe it. When I first read the statement, the rule, I took it for granted first. Then I thought of some words, especially French words, by the way, because the ja sound was borrowed by English from French in the 17th century, by the way. So even the sound ja was borrowed from French, because English borrowed intensively from French when it was occupied by the French and ruled, by the French for about 2 centuries. So it was the official language of England at one time. That's why words like mirage, rouge, measure, all these words come from, or are originally French, but they are, of course, now they are naturalized. They are part and parcel of the English lexicon or dictionary. Yeah, right. So that's one rule. Let's have, okay, another rule here. This illustrates how languages impose restrictions on each and every element. It's a system, When we speak of language, we say it's a system. When we speak of a phonology, we say it's the sound system. Systems have rules, of course. although sometimes they have exceptions. So back to clusters. What is a cluster, by the way? Now look at this rule. Only S can occupy first position. Only the voiceless stop or stops per turka appear in second position, and only one of these four appear in the third position. Just a minute. Yeah. So restrictions are imposed on the number of sounds that may occur together and on the sequence in which they occur. Now, what do you call words like, sequences like splash, splendid, structure, square? What do you call this sequence of sounds?
Clusters.
Clusters.
Yeah, clusters. What is a cluster?
It's
A cluster?
more than two consonants, doctor, without any intervening vowel.
In English, sorry about this inconvenience. I usually shut it. Did you say more than two?
Yes, doctor. From 2 to 4, doctor.
Yeah, from 2 to 4, not 5.
Yes.
Not 5.
Not 5, no, doctor.
Not 5.
No.
It's very strange that some linguists like Sturgberg claims that they may have English clusters may have 5, up to 5.
Did he give an example, doctor?
We'll do it right now. We'll do it right now.
Yes, doctor.
Right. Let me just show you. Right. Now, a cluster consists of 2, 3, or 4 consonants without any intervening vowels. So we can have 2. We don't say 2 clusters. We say a cluster of 2 consonants, a cluster of 3, and a cluster of 4. Now, this depends not on the spelling of the word. I mean, clusters are determined or isolated not according to the spelling of the word, but according to the transcription, to the pronunciation, the spoken form. So, in the word ask plus ed, how many are there in a cluster? Let's have a few words, see if they have any clusters, and give the number of consonants in each cluster. Okay. Ask plus ed.
3 consonant, cluster of 3.
It has a cluster of 3. Sa sound, ka sound, ta sound. Yeah. How about the word miss, miss, plus ed?
2, cluster of 2, doctor.
A cluster of 2. So it's not
Yes.
a cluster of 3. Because miss, miss, we have double S in spelling, but not in pronunciation. So we have missed, sa, and ta. Okay. How about hand plus ed?
Handed. Doctor, cluster of two, Doctor, in the middle.
Yeah, it has N and na sound and the sound. Okay. How about attacked?
Attacked.
Yeah, A-double-T,
Three, cluster of three.
A-C-K-E-D.
Two clusters.
Cluster of three, Doctor, three.
Which one?
Attacked. Two.
In the final, Doctor, attacked.
Two.
Ka sound, ta sound, and ta sound.
Two.
Attacked.
Cluster of two at the
A-double-T,
end.
A-C-K-E-D.
Two cluster, Doctor, two consonants.
A cluster of two consonants.
Yes.
Because you have ka and ta. In spelling, we have CK. The CK is both are realized as one sound, which is ka. The ED is realized as ta. So we end up having ka and ta, a cluster of two. Right. Okay. Earth.
What is it, Doctor?
Earth.
There's no cluster here.
No cluster. Because the R is silent. Earth. It's E-A-R-T-H. Now the R is silent. We end up having one sound, which is th sound. That's not a cluster. Okay. How about the Arabic shadda? Does Arabic have clusters?
Yes, Doctor, ليش شد الستريس؟
I mean, does it have? No, I mean, does it have clusters? Do we have clusters in Arabic?
No, Doctor.
Yes.
تسكرين قصدك؟
Yeah,
Yes, it was again.
we do have a cluster of two. Yes, maximum. Now in English we can have 2, 3, and 4. A cluster of 2, 3, and 4. In Arabic, maximum we can have is 2, and that never occurs at the beginning of the word. It never occurs at the beginning of the word. That's part of the phonotactics of Arabic. Right. Okay.
Doctor,
Yes.
how would you translate cluster?
Cluster. I was
Yes.
going to ask you about it. Yeah, of course, the meaning given in dictionaries is unqud, for instance. They have cluster bombs, al-qanabil al-unqudiyya. They have a cluster of something, aqd, etc. But of course, it means iltiqa sakinin. In Arabic, it's iltiqa sakinin. If we have more than two in other languages, we say iltiqa sawakin. Iltiqa sawakin. And in English, we have iltiqa sakinin, iltiqa thalatha, iltiqa arba. In Arabic, we simply say iltiqa sakinin.
Yes.
Yeah, of course, we can use a sakin or a samit. We have sawa'it. الصوائت اللي هي الفاولز. الصوامت اللي هي الكونسونانتس. Yeah. الصوامت does not mean silent letters. Yeah. فهي التقاء ساكنين. This is why we need to use specialized dictionaries when it comes to translating, any science, linguistics. There is a dictionary of phonetics and linguistics. In medicine, we have a dictionary of medical terms by Hitti. In scientific and technical terms, we have Ahmed Shafiq al-Khatib's dictionary. We must have specialized dictionaries because al-Mawrid and others don't help very much when it comes to technical terms. And as you know, every word has a literal meaning, and sometimes a technical meaning. I mean, most terms have a literal, and this has to do with semantics, yeah? It has a literal meaning and a technical meaning. So for instance, if we take the word zakat, for instance, what is the literal meaning of zakat? It means purity, purification, or growth. It means literally, it means growth, numu, or purification, tazkiyah. Yeah.
Yes, Doctor.
This is the literal meaning. The technical meaning, of course, is not the one given by dictionaries or by Orientalists, and unfortunately by many prominent, even Muslim scholars. I mean, who use tax, obligatory tax, alms, charity, etc. I mean, this is what they suggest as a technical meaning. Of course, zakah is not tax, is it? Isn't? I mean, is it tax?
No, Doctor, it is alms.
Well, alms would be sadaqat.
Yes.
So all these equivalents given for the word zakah, I mean, fail to capture the subtle difference between zakah and tax. So they say tax, obligatory tax, alms, charity, etc. So it's not charity, because charity may be any amount of money, and it could be paid any time. So zakah, the technical meaning, involves the percentage, and it involves the prescribed period. So technical, in order to understand or get the accurate equivalent of any technical term, better check a specialized dictionary, not a general one. Right. Same applies to pilgrimage. Pilgrimage is given the equivalent or the definition to visit a holy place. When, where, how long, no details are given, are provided. It's simply visiting a holy place. يعني ممكن في الأردن احنا نزور أهل الكهف في أبو علندة نعتبرنا حجينا يعني. You see?
Yes.
It's visiting a holy place. This is what Oxford Dictionary tells us about it. To visit a holy place. Right. Now this is we have the three first, a cluster of three consonants. From these, we have some derived phonotactic patterns. So we have derived 1, 2, for instance. Derived 1, 2. Let me know when it's time, please. We have 3 minutes, yes? Right.
Yes.
Now, I know you have a class after this. That's why I don't want to keep you. We have derived 1, 2. We have SP first, S sound, followed by P. Let's have examples. Exercise 68, yes?
May I?
Yes, sure.
Spread. Spread.
Again, salam, is that salam?
No. Spread.
Okay, right. So the example of 1 is a cluster of 2, that is. Yeah? Yeah, a cluster of two.
Yes,
This
doctor.
one here. This one.
Spread.
Again,
Spread.
sa sound followed by pa.
Yeah.
Spread.
Spread.
No,
She
we
said
need
spread, doctor.
we need only two consonants. That would have three.
Spa.
يعني
Speech is
without
okay.
R.
Yeah,
أو
speech is okay. Speech is okay.
Speed.
Speed, fine. Speak.
Sprite.
Yeah, okay. Not sprite. Sprite would have three. Yeah, spy. Spy is okay.
Speak.
Yeah, okay. Then
Cool.
second,
Steam.
steam. Very good. Yes.
stood,
Stood. Stuck.
Sleep, doctor.
Yeah.
Steady.
Stick. Stick.
sparkle,
Okay.
hill,
Next.
Sky.
Sky. Very good. Yes. What
Scar.
else? School. I mean, the
skip,
word school, although it has ch, but the sound is k. School. Skip. Yeah, good. Right. We have to think in terms of pronunciation, not spelling. Next, per followed by l sound.
Plow.
Again,
Plow.
Please.
Plow.
plow.
Plural.
Plural is
Plow.
okay. Plow is
Doctor.
okay.
Light.
Please, please. Yeah.
Light.
Okay. Right. Next,
Pray.
pray.
Pre.
It could be pray with an a or an e.
An E, yes, doctor.
It could be an e. He fill a pray, or he prays. Right.
drink,
Yeah.
drink,
Sorry. That's
drink,
no. This is p sound followed by ya sound.
Puke.
Again,
Puke.
or pew. Pew. P-E-W. Yeah. Okay. Next, ta followed by ra.
دكتور
Tragedy.
بصير ترجع تعطينا مثال
Cry.
على رقم 3 في the sound yeah.
Which one?
Number 3.
Number 3. That
Yes.
it would be pew. P-E-W. Pew.
Peony, doctor, also.
Sorry.
Peony, peony.
Yeah. Okay. Right. It's usually followed by EW or UE. Yeah. Right. Next, ta followed by ra.
Trial.
Treatment.
Trial. Trial is okay. Trash.
Treat.
Trash. Trip.
tree,
Okay. Tree. Tree. Next.
treatment, track,
Yeah. Treatment.
trial,
Good. Yeah. Then ka followed by ra.
Clown.
Crown. Very good.
clash,
You mean ka followed by la. Okay. Clash. Clean.
cloud,
Cloud. Clown.
cloud,
Yeah, okay. Right. Next.
Crash.
Yeah. Crash. Crazy. Crash. Crazy. Cry.
crest,
Crime.
ripple,
Create.
Crime.
Right. Ka
Chronological.
followed by yeah.
Cute.
cute,
Fuse.
Cute. Yeah, cute. Ka followed by wa.
Quarter.
Quad.
Quarter. Quarter. Quiet.
Quad, doctor.
Sorry. Quad, yes.
Quad. Quad.
Yeah, okay. Right. Then what do we have?
دكتور 9 أخذنا زيها so 10.
Which one?
9 like
نعم.
4.
9 أخذنا زيها.
Okay. You
12.
mean K followed by what?
No, دكتور.
No,
10.
9.
Yeah. Okay. K follow. Right. I think it's time. Yes. Think. I mean, use the dictionary. Use dictionaries to find examples.
Yes.
And think about vowel distribution for next time, and see if you can have if you can have counter examples of consonants that may not occupy the first position, initial position. Right.
إن شاء الله.
Right. Right. Okay. Right.
دكتور
Yes.
دكتور بصير عشان الهوم وورك اللي نزلت لنا إياه على الموقع بصير تنزل لنا التلخيص اللي حكيت لنا عنه اللي بخطك عشان نبلش بالهوم وورك.
هو أنا كل مرة بعطيكم تلخيص تقريبا يعني.
قصدك
I do
دكتور
have-
PDF.
اللي بخطك دكتور اللي على حكيت لنا راح تنزل لنا إياه PDF تقريبا 4 صفحات.
Yeah, okay. I do have more than 4 pages here. Yeah. So
لأنه لحد الآن بس فونوتاكتكس اللي يعني نزلت لنا إياه كتلخيص.
okay, right. I'll haven't I sent you a copy of stress? What's stress?
No.
What is stress?
No.
No. I'll send it now. I'll send it right now.
تمام.
Yes, sure.
Thank you.
Sure. Right.
يعطيك العافية دكتور.
الله يعافيك. Right.
Thank you دكتور يعطيك العافية.
الله يعافيك. Okay.